Greetings from Cult of Egg Tower. It's Egg Eggington, the Exalted One, coming back for another episode of Honey, I Joined a Cult. I skipped last week of weirdly looking at people as they sleep, but this week I thought I'd come back to a little bit more of that. But mainly because, yet again, there he is. Number one Berkey, sneaking off for a little 3 o'clock in the morning snack. So what are we going to try and do in this episode? Well, we're going to try and build up the cash a bit. As you can see, we're down at $1,355. Now, that's slightly different to where we ended the last episode, and the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that offline did a little bit of refurb around here. I've changed the way that the research room looks, changed where the doors are, got rid of the multiple doors to the bedrooms that weren't required, and also made this room not just an empty room, but this is what will become our recruitment office. So yeah, apologies for doing a little bit of offline work there, but I think some stuff isn't really that compelling to watch, so I'm trying to kind of avoid crashing in too much. Now, I am considering this bit over here. I think the maintenance room may need some more access routes, because it's a long route round for our maintenance workers to get to anything. And also where we have the recreational room. But that's going to probably be done offline in a separate episode. I'll obviously keep you updated and let you see when those things change around. But one of the things that's in the back of my mind is I'm going to need to build a kitchen off the back of the canteen, which makes sense, which we can now do, but it's not one of our priorities for the coming days. But because of that, we might want to slightly change around, maybe put a corridor somewhere around here, so that people can get around the compound a little bit easier. So what we'll do is we'll skip ahead like we normally do, and I'll probably bring you back when our cash is booted up a little bit, and maybe we're looking at getting some recruits into the recruitment office, or, as I say, starting work, laying the first dig for the Leader Sanctum, and as it mentioned last episode, possibly delving into the world of darkness. But we won't focus on that. But catch you in a bit. So we're up and at 'em for the day. Now, research is, as we said last episode, currently focused in on the bedroom upgrades. But what we also have is we have a new mission we can complete. So this is a level 2 PR campaign, and it expires in 15 hours. This is participate in a CD Park Watchers segment about how to frame people at the TV station. Now you'll see here it's looking like we can begin the mission, but I had a little clicky click offline, and one of the things that's quite nice is Thomas Hooper, the new member of the cult, is, because of where we've pumped up the attributes, is looking at 100% success rate for this. Now he was going to be our maintenance and our maintenance only, but I think for a mission that's going to last 4 hours, and here's a risk, I'm going to risk chucking him onto that and leaving maintenance empty for a few hours. What will we get out of this mission? Well, potential rewards is an increase to PR rating, some more XP, some more faith, some more influence, some more PR, and as ever, an increase in our heat rating. But we're going to begin that mission. Thomas will pop off. No doubt everything will break in the compound while he's off doing that, but we'll look to see if we can ping that follower level up and get to building. Back soon. Now primarily I've popped back because you can see some of the wise words that come out of Egg Eggington's mouth. As we can see here, he's considering how far could a flea jump if it had a running start. Yes, I am wise. Very, very wise. If anyone knows the answer to that question, drop it in the comments. I'm constantly pushing the comments, and I'm constantly pushing it because I want to interact with all the people who are watching this. Now the numbers fluctuate on the episodes, and as a content creator, that's what we call ourselves. You know, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, but I feel like the best way to kind of build this up is to interact with you guys, find out what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see out of the channel, what sort of content you want us to put out here. I mean, generally, I put out stuff that I enjoy doing, and I very much enjoy this game. But hopefully that's coming across when we talk about it. I'm finding it immense fun. But also, you know, the idea of this is to build up an audience. But whilst building up an audience, build up an audience that we can speak to, we can interact with. And part of the interaction on this game is obviously getting you guys to be involved, getting you guys to become a cult member. So drop us your comment, drop us your name and who you'd like to take over in the comments, and also check our description for the video and come and join us on the Cult of Egg Facebook group. But let's have a look. We've got compound growth. What is this? As you hire new eggoids, you need to make sure that you also expand your rooms to handle the increase in users. 2 toilets and a single canteen table just isn't going to cut it. You'll need to build bigger rooms and buy more objects so that everyone can live comfortably in the compound. This will also help to prevent your objects breaking as frequently, as the usage will be spread across multiple objects, and it won't be just the same toilet getting hogged and clogged. Lovely. By every eggoid in the compound. And as we know, we have an eggoid with a particular toilet-based issue. But looking at what we've got here, I think maybe we will need another canteen table at a certain point, although generally we shouldn't be having 8 people on a break at a time unless I've messed up a shit ton again. And in the bathroom, 4 sinks, 4 showers, 4 toilets. Could make it tight in the morning, but at the moment we're going to stick with that, and hopefully we'll look to maybe expand the amount of facilities we have when we get to the point of being able to produce and create and buy. Let's be honest, I say produce and create, it's all coming out of my pocket. Better facilities rather than just having more buckets in there. Now, looking at this, we do have a bit going on during the day. So we've started to get someone in the energy spa, the meditation studio is up and running, and a couple of people in the Great Nest. Research is ongoing, and as we know, the mission is on its way. But let's ping forward a bit in a day, and let's see what we get for cash, and let's get to building the Leader Sanctum. Now this is a worrying turn of events. An eggoid is close to leaving, so let's have a look. An eggoid is close to abandoning the cult for good. Eggoids are essential for daily operations in the compound, and without eggoids we can't continue our missions. Keep eggoids happy by monitoring their needs and giving them what they need to stay happy and healthy. So let's look and see where our problem lies. So our problem lies with Aria. Aria currently is our receptionist, and looking at her mood, she needs a toilet. Hopefully she'll go to the toilet at a certain point. She had a bad dream, which I'm not entirely sure I can do much about. Horrific food, that is something that we'll rectify hopefully when the kitchen's up and running. The very grimy, and that's probably my fault for taking someone off maintenance for the day. The awful room, well, I'll have a look in a minute and see which room she is in, but she's also extremely bored. Now, I'm not entirely sure there's a lot I'm going to be able to do to keep Aria other than hopefully cleaning up a little bit, and potentially looking at putting something that raises the prestige of the room that she is in. However, I'm probably not going to break the bank too much on keeping her around, because let's have a look. You know, she's been with us for quite a while, but she brings predominantly negative traits with her. She's got the big belly badness, a favourite on here. She's a serial liar. Not entirely sure whether that's what we want in the cult. So if I had to lose one, I wouldn't shed too many tears if it was Aria. That being said, I don't know what that does to my cult if one leaves. I know I can just recruit enough follower into it hopefully, but yeah, possibly worrying times, but I don't think anything I can initially do too much about, and I'm not going to panic too much. Anyway, we'll pop back and see whether Aria has actually continued to work in there, or if she's found a little stroppy Stroppington and gone off. And just a little bit of a highlight there to Amanda Jane, who I feel like we're not giving her as much highlight as potentially she should do as a very, very loyal cult member. But really, she's just been like a rock for us. She's there preaching every day, bringing in the cash, bringing in the faith. But yeah, a little bit of love for Amanda Jane. Anyway, we'll pop back and see whether we recruit, whether we lose, whether we have to recruit because we've lost, and have a look and see what's happening in the compound. Well, I said let's see what would happen. First things first, one of the toilets is broken. My blasé attitude of sending the maintenance man out on a mission has at least had one negative impact. And let's have a look, because I think it's probably contributed to this other negative impact. So we've got a warning for mood breaks. So one of your eggoids experience a mood break. This occurs when their mood gets too low. During a mood break, eggoids will act irrationally, wander in the streets, breaking objects, and even sometimes attacking other eggoids. Make sure you look after their needs and they will stay happy and cooperative. Now, let's see what happens here, because she could go on a kill crazy rampage here. I mean, imagine if she takes out all of the buckets in the toilet, we'd be in trouble. And if she attacks another cultist or another follower, that would be quite heinous. And of course, while she's off having a mood break, I imagine that means no one is covering reception. So this is quite a perilous moment in the world of occult. Having said that, I'm probably going to ignore it and just hope that it all passes relatively quickly. We've got Thomas almost done on his mission. So once he's back, he can fix the toilet and any other damage that Arya does in the compound. But more so, I'm wanting to get this money up. So we're, I think, about $700, $800 up from where we started today. Now, I haven't actually looked to see the costings of the Leader Sanctum, but we will be looking at getting at least the foundations placed in by the end of the day, and possibly trying to kit the room out. But in fact, I was going to say let's skip on, but let's actually go live in the game a little bit. I'll give it a little bit more speed, and let's just keep our eye on Arya for a minute and probably go through to this mission being complete. Oh, she's out in the street. Don't attack people in the street. Although, having said that, while she's in the street, she's probably not doing any lunacy. Oh, now there's a message you don't want to see. Soiling. Uh-oh. One of your eggoids has had an accident. Eggoids don't generally like soiling themselves. Soiled tiles will also lower the prestige of a room and make your eggoids feel pretty uncomfortable. It's important to make sure there are toilets available throughout your compound. Now, there are toilets. And personally, I thought having a toilet would be enough. I wasn't really expecting any of my eggoids to soil themselves. But also, what I cannot see where the offending soiling has happened. I am wondering whether it is Arya, but let's have a look. So on the mood break, whoa. Ah, okay, that's a broken object. I thought, what's going on with number one Birkin? Sorry, Berkey, didn't mean to look straight at you as you go through a poo, I'm guessing. So mood break. Ah, so it is Arya. Arya has soiled herself. However, she's bloody hell. She's peed right in front of the signpost. Well, even more need for our maintenance man to come back on the job. And with that in mind, he is ready to come back. So let's turn this mission in. And it was a success. So we participated in a CD Park Watchers segment about how to frame people at the TV station. My eggoid has returned, although I believe he will be returning rather than has returned. So our PR rating has increased again, up to 102 now, with that 20 PR rating boost. Influence up by 11, faith up by 5, and an experience boost for all of our eggoids. But that heat rating is slowly but surely creeping back up again. Now that'll be it for the missions for today. I mean, we might get one allocated later on, but I don't think we'll get anyone kind of sent away on it. And yeah, as I say, my blasé, laissez-faire attitude towards it may have to take a little bit of a rethink. And also because of Arya having her moment, shall we say, we now have Amanda Jane on reception, which is limiting what we're getting out of the Great Nest. And as you can see in the Great Nest, there's a lot of people wanting to listen right now. Probably because the meditation rooms are out, but we are starting to get to the point where these pews may not be able to cope with the amount of people we've got. It's all cost in this game, isn't it? Constantly having to do things. It's like real life. Now, before we skip ahead, as I said, the intention today is to work on the Leader Sanctum. And let's have a look. Where is the Leader Sanctum? Ah, it's alphabetical. So we want an 8x8 room for that. Now my thought is creating something outside, just outside of the Great Nest, probably having a door that goes through. But yeah, I'll get Thomas back into the compound. We'll try and sort out some of the nest that we've got. We'll probably keep ignoring Aria for a little while and hope that all gets better. And if not, we might have to get to the point where we do the B word and banish. Right, catch me in a little while and we'll see whether this chaotic, horrific day continues down the vein it has so far. I often say about people putting in the comments to join the cult and become a cult member, but if there's any cult member right now that I want someone to come on board and take over, it's Thomas Hooper. The man has been a legend today. So he went out, he completed the mission for us. Now admittedly, there was a bit of short-sightedness, and the Exalted One can admit that he's not perfection. He isn't the almighty egg, and he's trying to get us to the promised land of nests, comfort, and the mystery of what's inside the egg. However, he might have recklessly sent the maintenance man off. Now, Thomas, as I say, did his mission successfully, and he's come back, he's fixed the toilet, he's cleaned up the pee that was at the front of the compound. In fact, let's go and have a look at that. No more pee-pee in front of the compound, which probably was unappealing to anyone who was considering coming in as a follower. And with this in mind, we now have Aria back at work. Now, as you can see, she's still not happy, but certainly that seems to have rectified a lot of the issues. Now, what I will say she's still not happy is there's one big issue that I don't think I can do anything about at the moment, but that's her soiled pants. And she's going to have soiled pants for the next 2.1 hours, which I can only imagine is not going to be good for her. However, that's kind of balanced a little bit by her mood having recovered a little bit. Now, I kept saying mood breaks. We don't need to worry about mood breaks on the research, but considering what's happened today, I think once we complete this next bit of research, which also should be handy because it will allow us to make the bedrooms better and maybe increase a bit of prestige, but I think mood might be our next area of focus. So if we just click off Aria for a second, and also, by the way, not entirely sure whether it's the best idea to have her preaching to all while she's soiled, but needs must. Eggoids unite. Right, let's zing on, and we're probably looking at research being finished next, and then pinging on to the end of today. So a couple of bits and bobs to pick up. As ever, there's a recurring horrible red warning here about eggoid starvation, but for those who've been keeping track of this episode, bloody Aria again. I don't think she is starving, I just don't think she's got her food yet, so as ever, I'm going to ignore that. But probably a big focal point here should be research complete. So let's get our research up. So now we can upgrade bedroom. Now unlocks new bedroom objects. So we'll have a look at that in a minute, but we'll consider whether we're going to do that today or whether we do our Leader Sanctum. Because the money's actually zinging up a little bit as the day's gone on. So we're back up over 3,000 again. But mood boost. Let's have a look at this. So this allows the leader to boost an eggoid's mood at the cost of influence. I mean, I don't want another day like today, so I think utilising myself to do things might be a grand idea. So let's research that. It's only 6 hours, costs 40 influence to unlock, but I think very much so with what's been going on, it is becoming essential. And of course, it is in this first stream, so probably there's some sense into doing that stuff. Recreational room upgrade, much like I've just done with the bedroom. Because the moods are starting to drop across the board, I think these are the sort of things that maybe we'll have to look at. Steady the ship a bit, get the kitchen built, get the sanctum built, get the rec room, not the rec room. What was the other room we've got to build? Oh, the recruitment office up and running, And outside of that, look to upgrade this compound to get our actual egoids in a better mental frame of mind. Now, when we're researching mood boost, the other advantage to it is it does unlock the bathroom upgrade. So we are in Upgrade City, a costly affair, but probably a necessary affair going forward. And also, look at this little smiling face. Focused on her earlier, but there's Amanda Jane. Amanda Jane, a stalwart, a true egoid, looking to get some skill upgrades. Now, previously we've upgraded her bluffing because she works primarily in the Great Nest and the lobby. Now, let's take that to its max. Let's zing that up and zing that up. Now, her daily cost is obviously increasing for everything we do there, but that should be really beneficial to us. And there is a consideration around the improvisation and the planning because they're on -1, but I'm not really planning on using her in the maintenance room, on covert ops, or in the kitchen. So, and that's no offence to Amanda, she makes a lovely cheesecake especially, but that seems to be the best skill for her, and I think that's going to be our focus with her for a long time, is getting people in, keeping them happy, keeping them invested, getting them to the point where they can be recruitable, and whilst bringing in fat cash at the same time. So what started off as a travesty of a day seems to be at least having a bit of a turnaround. Just a quick zip back to Aria here. Oh no, sorry, Claire. Oh, God, how comes Claire is preaching? Interesting. What have we got here? So we do have her down as doing the recharging, but who is doing the recharging? Clint. Ah, so I guess that makes sense. So she's zinged over to another job in the interim while we've got both of those covered. Now, maybe, just maybe, if I can... Oh, and yeah, Aria is off having a meal because of a bad day. And I know there's tone in my voice when I say that, and apologies, Aria. We all have bad days every now and again, and probably my fault. Anywho, let's have a look at the room. So I said earlier, for building a Leader Sanctum, we want an 8x8. So let's get some foundations out there. I don't think it really matters what foundations we've been building under. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8x8. Now, as ever. Well, now I said it doesn't matter. I've just totally lied. It does matter. Here he goes, throwing away some cash probably. Let's get ourselves a door. And let's turn this into a Leader Sanctum. So that's already brought us down to our 2,500 point that we like to try and keep things at. But as you can see, there are a number of things that are required. We've got a leader's desk, an orrery, a mixing table, and a shelf of artifacts. So let's go to the room-specific objects. Now, they all add a bit of prestige. So what would we be looking at? We'd be looking at spending 2,000 to get this room up and running. Now, the man who has spent this whole game being monetarily responsible has decided you can't keep it. You'll lose it. You'll die. You'll still have that money in the bank. So, let's go bat shit crazy and fill out this room. Shelf of artifacts. So we now have a working, functional Leader Sanctum. So now that we have a functioning Leader Sanctum, probably time to actually have a scan through this and see what that actually means for us. So it's used by me, the Exalted One, Egg Eggington, to progress divine inspirations. Now, as you can hopefully see down here, as I click these off, we now have an exclamation mark over divine inspirations. So let's have a look. So this will allow us to unlock darkness, the solace of shadow and dark. It unlocks a darkness theme and it gives us a theme rating. So let's click on that. Now, interestingly, I think what's probably quite good about this is not necessarily the darkness part of it, because I wasn't really going to promote a cult of darkness, although let's be honest, we all knew it was a dark cult, we just lie about it. But it gives Eggington something to do. I do feel somewhat guilty that I just tend to kind of laze around the compound doing nought. But let's investigate it and let's get that going. So my divine inspiration is in progress, again costing influence and costing a bit of faith, but hopefully that will actually give us some assistance, although maybe making us shadier and darker. So now we have the Leader Sanctum. I wanted to, and probably not the wisest thing to do, but I want to build a little door there, and I want a foundation. And actually, before I build a foundation, I want to see. So bedroom should be 10 by 10. Well, that seems outrageous to me. So let's get a little foundation going. And let's build a nice... Let's go... insufficient money. So let's go 7 by 5. And inside that, we are going to make that a bedroom. Because ultimately, this is going to be the bachelor pad for one Eggington going on at the back here. Now, I don't think... Can I afford? I can't afford the bed. And I can't afford the storage box. Now, as you can see, I say I can't afford the bed. I can afford a dirty mattress. So, dirty mattress. Yes. Storage box. Yes. Clicked on the wrong button. My apologies. Can I get a lava lamp? I think the answer is no. No, I cannot, because that is far too expensive. However, can I put the silver pendant in here? Let's have a look. Let's go silver. Oh, reset filters. My apologies. Let's go silver. I thought it would just let me add that. I'll figure that out in post. But in theory, we do have a bedroom now. A very unsplendid, unglorious one. And we have burnt. Absolutely burnt through the cash. But with a little bit of time to go. So hopefully we'll recoup a little bit of that. But we need to assign this bed. And we want to assign this bed to... where the hell am I? Am I having a shower? Yes, I am. So let's unassign bed. Assign bed to there. So now I have my own bedroom up there, and it does allow the freedom of one more bed for a new follower, or a new eggoid, should I say. Right, now that we've done that, let's get ourselves to the end of the day, and hopefully let's get some cash money back. And we're back at the close of day 7 as we head towards sermon time, and I'm pleased to report no more calamities as the day went on. Let's get ourselves to the sermon and then let's review what happened today. In fact, let's get ourselves a bit more focused on the Great Nest. And let's speed these little buggers along. Doodle-doo-doo, doodle-doo-doo. Here they come. Now, bearing in mind as the sermon's ongoing, we had almost the loss of an eggoid today, we had a mood break, we had a soiling incident, something that I never thought I'd say out loud. But look at that, we've got all of the eggoids sat there receiving the sermon. So how did the sermon go? Well, the quality is still very low, it's still at 1 star. Cost us no influence, but we generated quite a bit of faith, 222, which I think our cost was previously 261 a day for eggoids, but I think that's before we recruited and before we upgraded, so that's something for us to keep our eye on. My mood's gone down again, but my energy's gone up. Now, as you can see, the big thing of the day was burning through that cash, and it was burning through that cash to get the building up and running. The faith ultimately went up by 158, and the influence by 22. The PR is up, the heat is up though. So we're going to have to look at maybe knocking back on some of those missions. Hopefully we get a couple of 2-person missions, and as I learned today, sending one away at the compound is a risk. Sending 2, probably not. Now, where do we go from here? Well, I think the truth of it is where we'd normally end this, we're actually going to zing on and do the next day as well. But I think the next day is primarily going to be about trying to not mess up anything, hoping our divine inspiration starts to kick in, working on our research, but primarily building that money back up and hopefully sorting out our faith and getting our influence back up. So if we click out the sermon, we just pause as people are going off. So let's have a look at the faith. So our faith cost is 261.6 a day, and that will continue to go up as people's skills go up and as we potentially recruit a further eggoid. So something to keep our eyes on. But as for now, that's it for day 7, and I'll bring you back in during day 8 for anything significant that happens. But when I say anything significant that happens, unless we get a massive cash injection, I'm not planning on really building anything tomorrow. I'm just looking to recoup the costs, so we may be back at the sermon. But of course we do run the risk of maybe another eggoid becoming unhappy, so we'll have a look at if it does, and off camera I'll just check to see whether that soiling incident is now fully sorted. And we're back for mid-morning. There seems to be a bit of a pandemic, and I know it's a bad term to use in the world that we've been living in, but there seems to be a little bit of a pandemic at the moment of people waking up in the middle of the night. So Berkey's still at it, but Amanda Jane has now started to go for the odd midnight snack, which is burning into our cash. And also Thomas, probably because I was too nice about him yesterday, or maybe I just overworked him yesterday, but he's now become a midnight snacker as well. So we've got a bit of a food problem. Now you can see money is starting to come back in. Now I don't overly want to spend too much today. However, I do think we need to have a little look here at least getting something in the decor range into my bedroom, and also let's put a little obligatory lava lamp in there, and also I think we want to get something in here as well. So almost wiped out our cash again, but as I say, today is about little improvements here and there, and to try and end the day with some cash money. I think probably a £600 spend will not hurt us too bad. Now as you can see here, the divine inspiration is working away. I'm beavering away at that, but we do have some research complete. So this is now going to allow me to boost an eggoid's mood at the cost of influence. Now influence is precious like any commodity, but as we saw, hopefully that will allow us to tackle any impending problems like we had last episode, where we had Arya go off the ropes, which caused us big problems. But now that is researched, we will start researching the bathroom upgrade. And again, one of the things we need the money for. So we do need to do the kitchen, we do need to get the recruitment office up and running, but I think to keep the mood going for our guys and girls, we really need to start upgrading these rooms, or we are going to have problems. So let's click on that as a bit of research, and as you can see down here, it tells us that mood boost is now unlocked. So I can now boost an eggoid's mood. Life in the compound can be tough. Sometimes it helps to get a compliment from the Exalted One, and I think we all know it does help to get a compliment from the Exalted One. So for you, the watchers, you're all looking lovely today. If someone is particularly struggling, I can give them a quick pep talk and get them back on track. This comes at a cost. I'm a leader, not a therapist, and I'll lose some influence for being too soft on our eggoids. I think it's going to be a handy skill for us to have. So if we look at the eggoids, yeah, Ari is still struggling and trending down. I am trending down. Clint is trending down. Natalie is trending down, and Thomas is trending down. But as I say, I think we'll be able to probably influence, bad term as it's part of one, we'll probably be able to do some good things around that when we start putting extra perks, extra decor, and build up the prestige of some of the rooms. Now you can see everything's looking pretty low at the moment. So the cash is low, the influence is low. So don't expect anything too tremendous to be happening for the rest of the day. In fact, we'll probably come back for the sermon. Well, that was a blatant lie. Back sooner than I thought. We've unlocked the Divine Inspiration, people. And you may also see there's an upgrade there for Clint, but we'll come back to that in a second. So let's have a look at the Divine Inspiration. So, we've unlocked Solace of Shadow and Dark, which unlocks a Darkness theme. New theme, start you on the path of darkness. You've got to start somewhere. So we've got a plus 50 theme rating. So I think that's probably, hopefully, a positive. If we go back to Divine Inspirations, again this will allow us to move on. So we have the option of a pentagram top, which is a leader research, so it'll give us plus 5 to our theme rating. Or we have the option of an increase in darkness rating, not sure whether we want to go there, but a big increase in theme rating. However, it will unlock a mission. Now, there's probably some positives in that, but I'm not too keen just yet to tiptoe too far into the darkness rating. And also, we struggled a bit when trying to fulfill a mission, and I will show you in a second that we do have a mission on offer today. So I think we probably want to investigate the pentagram top. Now that will allow for a new outfit. Now I don't want to change the outfit. The outfit is good. But let's have a look at what Spread Darkness will do. So that does increase my theme rating by drawing pentagrams at the newspaper office if we take that mission. Faith does go up and influence goes up, but our heat rating goes up. But do you know what? I think we're going to tippy-toe into this, and because looking at our influence, we don't have a lot there. So actually, let's go for this, keep me working away, and consider whether we go for the pentagram hat. And I said before I tweaked too far off, we'd look at the mission. But yeah, we do have another mission to increase PR rating. Again, it will be XP, Faith, Influence, and PR rating increase. However, I would have to probably assign Thomas to it because he's the only one who's able to complete it at the moment. And as we saw, that left us with a bit of a problem last time we did that. Now what I could do is I could try to recruit a follower and have that person cover maintenance while Thomas goes off and does this mission. But I think patience might be the virtue here. The money's low, the influence is low, and I'm concerned that we're overspending on Faith at the moment. So let's keep that on hold. We will have a look at Clint though. So Clint at the moment we've got working on the recharger. He's got no skills, no offence Clint, at the moment. But I think the kind of plan for him is to keep him as cover for those meditation runs which are bringing in the cash. But let's have a look and see whether, I'm sure one of these allows for, so retail allows for money gains from therapy runs, but I'm pretty sure one of these actually allowed us to get influence gains. So let's have a look. Not butchery, roughing, empathy. So empathy, yeah, increases influence gains and also increases healing speed. So if we go for the hospital at any point, maybe that's the one to go for. So Clint, get your empathy up and start bringing some of this influence in. And with that, let's speed on to the rest of the day. Here we are again, and here's our boy again. Number 1 Berkey, injured, broken, fell to bits, dirty hands whilst eating, so he will be less effective for the next 12 hours. Doesn't require treatment, but his bladder will decrease 30% faster, so he'll be in and out of that toilet like it's going out of fashion. Now, funnily enough, I think this is one of those coincidental things which are sent to test us as members of the cult, but we had a sink break, but we had a sink break after hours, so basically everyone had knocked off for the day. Now, there's multiple sinks there, and it was quite clear which one was broken, and all I'm saying is, Berkey, don't use the broken sink next time. But we are heading towards the sermon on day 2, or should I say day 8, but day 2 for this video. Now, hopefully, what will become very evident is when I don't tinker and just let the buggers actually do what they need to do, we can smash that money back in. The influence has risen back up. Faith is worrying though. This is something that I think will have to be our high priority going forward. We did have a couple of moments where potentially we had a mood break. So upgrading those bedrooms and maybe upgrading some of the facilities around here are going to be on the list. But how we get more faith, that's something that I'll be looking at. And I think probably because we're spending a bit on these divine inspirations. But let's bring this forward while we cover this off, and then let's get to the sermon. And then what we'll probably do is we'll call it a day, but with a priority list going, oh god, someone else is using a broken sink, with a priority list tomorrow, or in the next video should I say. Oh, before we go on, before we get to the sermon, number one, Berkey. Don't get in the mood with me, Berkey, it's not my fault. You used and contaminated food. Bollocks. It's because you didn't wash your hands in the sink that worked. But I'm hoping we can get to the end of the day, and I'm hoping that the sermon will pump him back up a bit. But red, yellow. We're at that point, people, where the ease or the niceties of the game at the start are starting to bite back at us. So we're adding to the list. And what I was about to say is, for the list of things to do in the next video, is find a way to build up the faith. Find a way to improve the mood, which we know that's going to cost money as we improve the rooms, and probably look to build that kitchen. So we've got some real kind of goals out there, and I think for that as well, we'll be looking to recruit another follower to be an egoid. Now, that will work against the faith to a degree, but we're looking here at going, what can we do to become more productive as a cult? And I think having that 9th member, especially if we've got a bed already ready for them, that might be the way to go about it. Hopefully we'll be unlocking the bathroom upgrades, which again at great cost should hopefully reduce these injury amounts. But getting the guys happy, getting the guys productive again, that will be it. And then looking at the recruitment office, because I think what we need to start doing is getting in better egoids. And I'm always very conscious when I use the term better, but yeah, better. People who are actually going to bring some positive traits to this, and the only way I think effectively of doing that, other than pure luck, is getting that recruitment office up and running. The follower count is now up to 17 out of 22 as a max, so that's why I think the money is smashing in so well. But we're at a balance point again. But before we get to said balance point, let's see if we can get through this sermon before Berkey absolutely loses it with us. And of course, we were given the option of spending influence to give someone a mood boost, but I'm not entirely sure whether that's something to do today. Let's hope his traditional midnight snack brings him back round. So look at him, smiling and being inspirational. It's not working, he's not getting any happier. But all glory to the almighty egg, as it should be, as it ever was. So looking at the sermon, it's a sermon quality of 1 again. I do not know how to bang out a decent sermon apparently. But cost us 0 influence, generated 222 faith, and we will have a look at that in a minute. As I say, faith is a concern for me at the moment. And my mood dips again, my energy rises again, and theme rating of 0. So for the day, we made 2,447. Now, that probably could have been 3,000, but I spent a couple of $100 just on some bits that were needed around the compound. But that's starting to feel good again. That's starting to feel that maybe once every couple of days we can either build a new room, or potentially every couple of days do some improvements to the compound, some prestige improvements, or just some facility improvements. Faith plus 176, which is actually higher than we had plus the day before. But we'll look in a minute. I think our daily costs are actually close to around 270, 280. So if we're still in plus from that, it means we've got some wiggle room. So it looks like the ninth egoid will be incoming. And the influence has gone up by 28. We're spending influence when we're doing our research, and of course we have the potential to spend influence to do mood break improvements, which we might have to start doing. And of course, because there was no missions today, the heat has come down a little bit. So before we wrap up, there we go, all off to bed, happy. I really hope that a night's sleep for Berkey perks him back up again. Well, when I say a night's sleep, obviously a couple of hours kit before he goes off and gets some food. But let's have a look at the fame. So yeah, just under 270 that we're spending. So we're still making as a good 100 odd per day on that. So we've got some wiggle room there. And of course, that will get chipped away into with skill increases, but with the potential of those skill increases bringing something back. Now, before we wrap up the video, I guess I do have to look at what's going on down here with the red. So, someone's starving. Who's starving? Natalie, go and get something to eat, my girl. I don't know why she's starving. Maybe it's the horrificness of the food that she really doesn't want to, or maybe we need to consider regulating those breaks. At the moment, I've kind of traditionally gone for the lunch break in the middle, but maybe when we go to 9, we look at having 2 breaks during the day, but 2 shorter breaks possibly. So what else have we got in the world of worry? And also, when I say that, I'm not too worried about the starvation one, because I think that's probably because it coincided with the sermon, so she can probably dart in and grab something before bed or join the midnight snack gang. The sink is still broken, but of course that will be on the docket for Thomas to get to tomorrow morning when he wakes up and gets ready for work. And of course we have number 1 Berkey with his injury. Now, how long is his injury in play for? Another 9.9 hours. So he will start the day injured, but hopefully that will rectify itself pretty early on. Let's have a look. So he is exhausted, but he will be getting to go to bed now. He is extremely bored, which we can't do anything about yet because we're not doing rec room upgrades. But yet again, horrific food is a biggie. And I think probably with exhaustion, upgrading those bedroom facilities is probably going to take some of that away from the guys, because I've noticed that a lot of people are suffering from that. God, fun. Jesus. No one really likes the fun in this place, so maybe that is, again, something to put on the priority list of things to unlock. I mean, we're unlocking most of the initial upgrades now for all of the rooms, so let's keep that in the back of our head as something to do. Now, we're not going to probably research a new room for a little while, although there is a small temptation for that spirit chamber to bring in a bit more cash and have 3 people working the meditation rooms. But that can probably wait. So yeah, I think there's a lot for us to do, and I think that's what I love about this game, and what I love about strategy games in general, is that no matter how you focus and no matter what you prioritise, and of course I prioritise cash, this is the simplest one to prioritise in my head, but it's about all those tweaks and those things that happen during the game where you go, right, I need to pivot to something else. And hopefully, as you follow along, you're not all screaming, you bloody idiot, why aren't you doing this? Bit more about the game, and I know we covered it earlier, but this is an early access game and it is available on Steam, and anyone who doesn't have it, I'd highly recommend getting it. If you're a big strategy game player, you might look at this and go, a bit simplistic, maybe not for me, but I think the theme of it is something that is really selling it to me. You know, it is great fun having the characters and having, like myself as Egg Eggington, and having things like the potential to turn your cult to darkness, but you know, I highly recommend as it stands at the moment, and I'm going to continue going until this cult either crashes and burns, or I get to the point where I just cannot actually keep up with what's happening anymore. But this is our first couple of days in one episode, and again, I think the trend will stay with that for a little while. We'll be jumping in and out, but hopefully not to make it too frenetic with the cuts, but rather than having you guys just watch them go and do their daily business, we really will try to sort of highlight any new builds, any refurbs, anything significant, and for me personally, anything funny that really tweaks out at us. As ever though, please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Please drop a comment in, and if you want to join the cult, you can join us in reality on our Facebook group, which will be linked in the notes, in the comments should I say. And if you want to join the cult as a member of the cult, then please drop your name in the comments, tell me who you want to be, tell me who you want to take over, and you too can learn about the almighty egg. And if you work hard, And if you contribute to the cult and you put enough time in, one day you'll learn the true secret of what's inside the egg. But until next time, be excellent to each other. Thanks for watching, and just remember, you can join the Cult of Egg by liking and subscribing to this YouTube channel. We release regular content where we talk about all things geek, all things pop culture, and all things that we're interested in. You can also come along and join the discussion on Facebook groups and Renaissance Cast. And you can join us on our Twitch channel where Stu regularly streams games. And if you'd like to support us, then please follow the link for the Patreon. Thanks very much.